Hello everyone, Loxley here coming back to you with another coronavirus update from Beijing. Now I'm going to keep this one as short as I possibly can, but there's a lot to get through. I didn't make a video yesterday because my son was being crazy and I didn't end up having enough time until it got to about 4 AM. So I'm making the video right now. I'll include parts of yesterday's video if they're still relevant today. Obviously the count won't be relevant, so I'll tell you that right now. The new count for today is 67,192 people infected and 1,527 deaths. And also we haven't really got much information about the people that attended the conference, the meeting in Singapore. Remember that guy that came back to the UK and infected those people in France? I haven't seen any information so far about the results from those people who attended that conference and maybe the destinations that they have also traveled onto. It would be interesting to see how fast this can spread in a conference kind of setting where you know that one person has it, at least one person has it, and you know, to see how many people get infected from attending something like that without actually being in contact but being in the same stuffy room, I'm guessing. So we'll just have to wait and see for that. I heard that there is a shortage of dentist masks in the UK. Now, I'm guessing this is not going to be just a problem for the UK. I'm guessing this will be a worldwide problem because it seems that everywhere is relying on China to make these masks. And as a result of everything being closed down, that includes the factories as well. So a lot of the supply chains are starting to run low on stock. So face masks, parts for computers and phones, and there's so many different industries that are actually being affected. I hear the American pharmaceuticals industry is being affected as well. So we're starting to see just how much we do rely on China. Now, something as simple as face masks, it doesn't, maybe I'm wrong, I could be completely wrong. It doesn't seem as complex as making TVs or phones. So I'm just surprised and I'm curious as to why the UK or Europe doesn't have its own face mask making capacity and why something like that, a whole industry like that, needs to be sent over to China. I understand to cut costs, but there is a problem, as we're seeing now, with relying so much on one country to make everything. Is it time that we worry less about the coronavirus? I can see that it's spreading around the world and I can see that the numbers are going up like crazy within Hubei province. But if you look at the amount of infections and then you find out the amount of people who end up in a severe condition, not a critical condition, but just a severe condition. They show severe symptoms, you know, like an extreme prolonged fever and a terrible cough or something like that. I'm not sure what are the symptoms, but the muscle pains and stuff like that. If you have a look at the people who are affected by the severe symptoms, it's very low. And I'm not sure it warrants the response that we're seeing from the international community. People quarantining cities, stopping work, buying face masks like crazy. Sure, it's very, very contagious, but the people who are severely affected by it still seems to be quite low. Maybe I'm wrong. So what do you think? Is it time that we stopped worrying so much about the coronavirus? Maybe I'm just not seeing the amount of deaths that I expected from something that has infected 60-odd thousand people within 2 months. I was expecting the death rate to be much higher, or to start to see, you know, videos of people collapsing in the street in New York or London or something like that. But I'm just not seeing anything like that. I'm just hearing about someone got infected, and then the people that we're seeing on the TV, maybe it's not the full story, but the people that we're seeing on TV, it's like, oh yeah, I had it. Oh, I had a fever. Yeah, but now I'm all right. Yeah, I made a full recovery. Yes, you know, I'm okay now. Now, there is a new death today, and that was in France. So that person is the first person in Europe to have died from the coronavirus. And that person was an 80-year-old man who was visiting Paris with his daughter, and he got taken to hospital 3 weeks ago after falling ill. His 50-year-old daughter was also infected, and she is in hospital and making a full recovery. So I'm hoping that they've also identified the people that they've come in contact with, because I don't know how potent, how contagious this virus is during all the different stages, you know, from when you first got the virus and you don't know the incubation period, to when you actually got the virus and you're showing symptoms, to when you are making a recovery and you're not showing symptoms. We still don't know how long you're able to spread the virus to other people. So that's something I'm hoping they're figuring out, because I don't think they're going to be putting France on lockdown anytime soon. So Japan announced their first fatality from the coronavirus, and that was a woman in her 80s, and she was hospitalized on the 1st of February. At that time, she was diagnosed with pneumonia, but the strange thing is, even though there's this coronavirus going around now, she was diagnosed with pneumonia, and there was no check done to see if she had the coronavirus. So after she died, they identified that she actually had the coronavirus. Imagine that. So she was in there from the 1st of February, with pneumonia. Pneumonia is one of the signs of the coronavirus, and they didn't check her, so she's come into contact with all sorts of people. Her family, the doctors, other people in the hospital, and who knows how many people she's given that to. And only after she died, they identified that, oh, actually, she had the coronavirus. And she was the mother-in-law of a taxi driver, and the taxi driver now has also confirmed to be infected. So the taxi driver is also infected, and now I'm guessing the hunt is on to find out if any of the passengers he's been carrying since the 1st of February have also become infected and also potentially passed it on to other people. So how many passengers does a taxi driver have in a day? Who knows? And how many people do those people come in contact with every day? Who knows? And another possible danger sign for Japan is that a doctor in his 50s who works in a hospital in Western Japan, who has never been to China, has been infected. So that means that the virus is definitely spreading throughout the country. He's never been to China. He does work in a hospital, so maybe he's come into contact with someone else who has come into the hospital and passed it on to a lot of other people without knowing it. And also there's another man who is in his 20s who lives in Chiba near Tokyo, so near to Tokyo, and he's become infected, and he also has never been to China. So if it's near Tokyo, it potentially is in Tokyo. And Tokyo, as you may or may not know, is one of the most populated cities. I think it's the most populated city in the world. 30 odd million people live there. That's kind of crazy. Fingers crossed Japan figures this out. Yesterday there were reports, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but yesterday there were reports in the newspaper about 8 planes at Heathrow Airport being locked down because of a potential scare that some of the passengers on board had the coronavirus. The cabin crew were not wearing any protective gear when they were dealing with the passenger who became unwell on one of the planes, so that's not good. I'm starting to think, should the airline industry start to make the staff wear protective gear? I know it seems like an exaggeration, but you know, air travel, you don't know where these people have been. Different people carrying all sorts of different illnesses. Maybe it's not the coronavirus, maybe it's something else, maybe it's Ebola, maybe who knows what they're carrying, right? And you're constantly coming into contact with these people in an enclosed environment like on a plane. Does anyone know how good the air conditioning system is on a plane? Like, does it clean the air? Does it pass the air out of the plane? Or is it the same air recycled throughout the whole journey? I don't know. I just feel like a plane, a lift, a subway, a train, a taxi, a bus, these kinds of closed environments with the same air being circulated, it makes me feel like something like the coronavirus just loves that kind of thing. So I feel like the airline industry should make the staff wear protective gear. I don't know, just an idea. What do you think? 250 people who attended a conference in London have been sent an email to watch out for symptoms and to self-isolate because they're potentially coming into contact with someone with the coronavirus who was also attending that conference. That's potentially 250 people with the coronavirus, or a percentage of those people. Either way, they potentially have come into contact with so many people if they've taken the London Underground, I was just saying the Underground, or gone into a lift, or gone into other crowded spaces. Gosh, it's spreading like wildfire. But like I said yesterday, are we panicking too much? Is it worth the worry if the massive percentage of people have minor symptoms and only a small percentage of people have severe symptoms? Are we making this into a bigger deal than we should? It's one of those things that you'll never know until this is all finished, right? You'll never know if you should actually have taken it more seriously or if it was just an overreaction. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm going to leave it there. I will see you guys tomorrow for another update, hopefully. Stay tuned. Goodbye.